Right. You are listening to the Dead Man Stone podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Deadman. And this show that you're listening to right now is too damn sexy. Too damn sexy for YouTube. Man, I don't know how your weekend has been. I hope it's been great. If so, awesome. If not, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Find what's stressing you out and extract that from your life. If it's your kids, let them stay at your grandparents' or relative's house or someone else's house. Get that time away. Oh man, that's what it was for us this weekend. Time away. That's some time to reflect on things. A little bit about this show. A little bit about the Dead Man Stone podcast. I was like, this whole Mr. Deadman character thing, this character, it's just me, man. It's just me. But then it always has been me, right? I play it up with the voice, but it's just me. Other things, though. My weekend was entertained by, of all things, internet drama. Internet drama that has really nothing to do with me, though the very beginnings of it, I did sort of dip my toes in on this channel. But don't worry, and this ties into the subject matter of tonight. We'll be talking about simps. What does horror movies have to say about being a simp? And also banned horror films. That's what we're talking about tonight, okay? And by the way, if you enjoy this show, if you like it, press the like button, share, subscribe, even though it's pretty much it's completely demonetized on YouTube, so there's really no incentive. If you're listening to on iTunes, leave a review, give 5 stars. It really helps out. And share. If we can increase the number of downloads the thing gets, that'd be great. What, am I wanting to sell out and sell some ads? No. I just want more people to hear it. Anyway, one of the things that interests me this weekend, and that's with my folks, my kids were playing in the pool, my wife, we're having a good time. It was Mother's Day weekend. It was all set. Don't worry, everything was good. But the thing that was on my mind was this internet drama, which I could really surmise for you is the reason why I find it so entertaining is that there's this guy named Dick Masterson who pretty much presents himself as this alpha male, this Chad, this chauvinist who thinks men are better than women, blah blah whatever, but it's pretty much just a character. Like, most people know it's just an act. That's not who he really is. And that much I knew, right? But what was funny was that stuff got released or really showed that his private life, the detail of his private life, his drama came out. And in the drama that came out revealed him to be a simp. Revealed him, and by the way, when I say simp, I'm using the definition. A simp is a man that begs and pleads for a woman's affection, for a woman's attention, right? That is a simp. A simp, TLC did a song about this, Scrub. A simp is kind of like a scrub. The guy who hangs out the passenger side of the car, trying to get the woman's attention. How the hell do I know a TLC song? Come on. Like you don't know that song either, right? That is a simp. A guy who begs and pleads for the attention, for the affection of a woman. And that's what Dick Masterson did. Okay? Now, what I find this, and that's entertaining, but what made it even more interesting for me was all these people started defending him, people that are kind of like, there's a whole conspiracy to it. That's not what this episode's about. So I'll park that right here. I'll just put that on the back burner. But what I want to talk about is what is it to be a simp? Is it a bad thing to be a simp? Well, it's not bad to romance a woman. And hey, if you're a gay dude, it's not bad to romance, gay dudes. The same thing applies to all relationships, pretty much. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, lesbian, or whatever, or into furry fucking. it all applies, right? If you have someone who's begging and pleading for the attention of someone, it just looks sad and pathetic, right? There's the romantic part. There's a part where you're trying to get a date, you're trying to get the attention. That's fine. But where if you make it a consistent thing, knowing that the end result is gonna be a no, or knowing that it's fake, knowing that you're not gonna get what you really want out of it, knowing that it's all being like, maybe you're being manipulated and you know you're being manipulated. Yeah, that is simp. That is pathetic. Examples. Okay, a guy who goes to a strip club. That is simp behavior. That's simp behavior. No matter how much money you pull out of your pocket, you pull out of your account, that is simp behavior. Especially if you're in a committed relationship, or if you have a wife, even more so. People who watch cam girls, simp behavior. People who watch Twitch cam girls like Amaranth and Alinity, simp behavior. Simp behavior. And you know it's simp behavior because, once again, you're trying to get the attention and the affection of a woman, and to do that by showering these people with donations in strip club directly, in exchange to get something. Now, in the strip club setting, at least the guy gets a direct payoff and a direct visual of something in their face right there. The cam girls, they might get something, but this is still simp behavior, and I'll tell you why. Because, like, the people who give money to the cam girls, well, for free, they could just go to Pornhub or something, right? Why are you showering this woman with money when you know you're not going to get anything, or what you're going to get is not any better than what you can find elsewhere? You're delusional. And what you want to do with your money is what you want to do with it, right? And same thing with the strip club. Why give some woman named Karma a bunch of money when you could just, to see her naked, when you could probably just go to I say go to a bar. I'm pretty dated. You could just get one of those dating apps and hit someone up real fast and just go there. Isn't that what they do now? By the way, the cigar I'm smoking on, because I'm always smoking a cigar just about every time I do these shows. Bone shaker. Kind of like it. It's not too bad. Not my favorite. It actually, when you light it, when you smoke it, it kind of smells like marijuana, but it's not. It's straight up tobacco, and not even a joke. That's what it is. Okay, but it does have an earthy smell to it. Anyway, so now that we have the definition of simp established, let's talk about what horror has to say about being a simp. See, horror movies actually have several layers of commentary, social commentary, and various aspects of our life. That's why I like them so much. And the reason why they do is because, I think in a way, is because it mirrors our fear. It is a reaction of what we are afraid of. Obviously, that's what horror movies are about. It's what we are afraid of put on the screen. And it's a fear, for the most part, depending on what movie it is, that we can all kind of relate to. Well, we might not all be afraid of a ghost or a zombie or some sort of demon or the devil. There is a very real fear in someone busting into your house with the intent to kill. Right? That is a real fear. That is a real fear right there. Anyway. So, let's say I film like Friday the 13th. I film like Friday the 13th. Well, the first one, what it says about being a simp, is quite simple. Whether you are a simp, or an alpha, or chat or beta, no matter what you are, if you're messing around with women and getting laid, or trying to mess around with women with the hopes to get laid, you're going to be killed. You're going to be killed by, in the first one, Pamela Voorhees, right? Jason's mom. You're going to be killed outright. She does not discriminate. In fact, if anything, according to the lore, she burned the place down because they let her son drown. Okay? So she does not care. If you're just even operating the camp, she's going to kill you. So what does that have to say about being a simp? I suppose in that context, and pertaining to that film right there, that it doesn't necessarily matter, because the end is going to be the same. So if we look at that, the big picture of that all is whether you are the high school jock, whether you are the ladies' man who's swimming in all the puss, maybe you are the nerd, maybe you're the virgin nerd, the horror nerd who has never gotten laid in his life, but you fantasize about it. Maybe you are the virgin girl, maybe you are the very sexually liberated, or the slut. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because you're all gonna die in a horror film, especially a slasher. You're all gonna die. At that point, Jason's no longer Jason. Jason's mom's no longer Jason's mom. It could be any other movie. It could be Michael Myers. Michael Myers is no longer Michael Myers. That in this context, in this sort of metaphor, those monsters, those killers, they become a force of nature. So if you look at it, what those films say about being a simp is that it doesn't matter whether you're a simp or an alpha. Nature's coming for you. Nature's coming for you. You could be the homecoming queen. You could have a mansion or live in a crack house. Nature's coming for you. And when nature gets you, you're gone. If the Grim Reaper pulls your number, you're gone. It doesn't matter how successful you are, how in deep in debt you are, right? That's what I like about like slasher flicks. It really shows. It's a reminder that, hey, you could be the simpiest simp in the world. You can beg and plead. Or you could be alpha chat. Or you could be a big fat gunt guy. Or you could be a drunk, popping Xanax all the time. Or you could be some Canadian snorting coke all the time. It doesn't matter. It gets to the end, it doesn't matter. Because you're all going to die. Everyone's going to die. So I guess then, you have to ask yourself, was your life worth living? Did you have fun during it? If you enjoy being a simp, then I suppose it's okay, right? Let's look at Michael Myers. Let's look at Halloween. Once again, a slasher rules. So once again, anytime someone's having sex, anytime flirting around with women or flirting around at all, if they're ever distracted, they're going to be killed, right? So whether you're swimming in the puss or begging or pleading for the woman's attention, woman's affection, you're going to die. But you have to ask yourself, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Is it better to die in the midst of fucking? Is it better? Or is it better to die trying to run away? Like when Michael Myers finds you between the legs of some woman. It kills you anyway. Like I don't think it matters. Then you have you have horror novels like Stephen King It. What does that have to say about being a simp? What does Stephen King's It have to say about being a simp? Oh, don't be a simp. You could be friends with a girl. You can have her join your group. Just don't be a simp. In fact, if anything, use her. Take turns riding train on her to get rid of your virginity. So don't be a simp, but lose your... Wait. Don't be a simp. I think the solution in Stephen King's It is actually to become a simp. Wait, let's look at this. Correct me if I'm wrong here. So, in Stephen King's It, all the guys, with the girl's permission, all these kids ride train on this girl. They call it a gangbang. It's not a gangbang. They're all taking turns one at a time. That's a train. Get it right. Because, getting rid of your virginity, coming in a vagina, that's the only way you can overcome your fear. That's the only way you can face it, right? I'm not a simpleton. I'm not a simp. I understand what the message of that is. It's the growing up. You grow out of your fears, and that this entity wouldn't be able to use your fears against you because you don't have any fears anymore. But there's another message behind that. The other message is you become woke of the power of the importance of sex and a pussy. So in other words, the guys become simps in a way. They realize that they really want women's attention, and that's what's going to save them. Maybe I'm wrong there. Look at but then you have to look at Dracula, Bram Stoker Dracula. And Bram Stoker Dracula, Jonathan Harker was a simp to Dracula. And I think this really shows, don't be a simp. Don't just be a simp, but don't be an idiot. Look. And Bram Stoker's Dracula. Jonathan Harker becomes a simp to Dracula, and he only has himself to blame the whole thing. He's been warned several times to not even spend a night at Dracula's house. Right? Even before he spends the night, he's been warned several times about the horror of that. Well, what's to happen? He's been told to turn away, but he ignores it. Now, some will say, don't blame the victim. They say it's no good. Don't do that. I say it's no good if the victim is an idiot. If the victim is an idiot, then they are an idiot. If they're an absolute moron, then they deserve the blame, don't they? I mean, wouldn't you put blame on someone who just walked into a lion's cage? Or wouldn't you put blame on someone, on the fool that decided to light a firecracker in his ass? You would, right? You would. Much like the men that find themselves broke after throwing wads of cash at strippers, Twitch thoughts, cam girls. They're simping. Don't simp. So Bram Stoker's woke on it. Or he was before he died. He's aware. Don't be a simp. Stephen King might be a simp. I don't know. I need to go over his material again. I do know that Stephen King is obsessed with penises. Boys' penises. That could be a whole other stream. And that's true. Why does Stephen King always have to describe little boys' penises? Let's go back to horror movies real fast. Before we go into the banned horror movies. The horror movies that were so horrific that they were banned. All right. What about other movies like Jennifer's Body? Jennifer's Body is a warning of do not be a simp. Do not even try to get the attention of some woman because she's going to kill you. All right? She's going to kill you. Even if you try to be nice to this chick, she's going to kill you. Don't cross paths with her. That right there is a metaphor. of these Twitch thoughts that would drain you for your money, drain you of all your money if you let them. And they have the audacity, they have the nerve to outright shame you guys. Not you guys, because I don't think you guys would ever give money to these Amrans or whatever on Twitch. But these fools, these misguided fools, which we need to help them. Let them understand it. That they're misguided. Sometimes it can be worse. Sometimes it could be someone might ask me, Mr. Deadman, what about a hooker? Is a hooker a simp? If you give money to a hooker, are you being a simp then? On that one, no. Because you're getting what you expect. But you're getting what you expect and more. Like the STDs, the rash, the horror, the haunting realization of realizing you just spent money for sex. You just gave a woman a bunch of money for sex. That's kind of low. But, what you do is what you do, right? I mean, it's better than just going to a club. It's better than going to a cam girl. Better than going to Twitch. Anyway, back to horror movies. Another one, From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn. And that particular movie, the iconic scene when Salma Hayek is doing her little snake dance, and she puts her toe in Quentin Tarantino's character's mouth, and pouring the tequila down, whatever. In that scene, is he being a simp? Oh yeah, he definitely is. He's simping for her. He's simping for her hard. And what happens? Well, she goes fucking crazy. She kills him. Don't be a simp. Horror movies are warning you. Don't be a simp. It's that simple. Even modern movies, and I thought this movie was actually embracing simpleton. It was actually encouraging simpleton. But then I realized I was a fool. It follows. I was looking at this movie. It's like, is this teaching? Is this putting out there the message out there that it's okay to be a simp? After all, it's about I mean, if it was a guy, well, I could see where someone might think where It Follows might put out the message that it's okay to be a simp, because after all, you're gonna be wooing this girl, and she's gonna give in to your woos because she wants to spread something. But clearly, the message there is don't be a simp. If you've never seen It Follows, it's pretty much a movie about STDs. It's a sexually transmitted haunting or possession that follows you and kills you. Any man, any woman that tries to woo for the attention of whoever has this infection, whoever has it following them, they're gonna get the attention, but it's gonna come at a price. Their life. Once again, a reminder: do not be a simp. Now, I mean, I guess overall, like I said in the beginning, you could look at other movies like Friday the 13th, like slashers, where it's like, well, it doesn't matter maybe where you are. And you're right. It may not matter where you are. Just be better than being a simp, is what I can say. Okay? Just be better than that. This goes for the ladies too. If you're begging for a man's attention, man, don't do that. That's stupid. Why would you do that? Huh. Anyway, let's talk about banned horror movies. Horror movies that are so bad they're banned. This is why I have the stance I do on free speech. Look, I find it silly, the horror movies, fake characters. It's all make believe, right? Get banned because they're too gruesome, right? And when you think banned horror movies, probably the first one that comes to mind, maybe, if you know something about horror film, it might be Cannibal Holocaust. And in that, there was no real killing of people, while there's real killing of animals. By the way, I'll say there's real killing of animals on the set, and I don't have a problem with that either. I'll say this. Look, I'm a meat eater. I eat animals. Animals die for that. Duh. Not dumb there, right? So why would I have a problem of animals being killed on set? As long as they're being used as food, and they are. On that set, of the Cannibal Holocaust set, apparently, the animals were being killed, and the director did have some feelings about it afterwards, of course. Sure. But the people, the indigenous people, ate the meat. They ate the animals that were killed. Okay, well then, it is sort of like preparing a barbecue, right? If anything, it was probably better eating. I don't know. I've never eaten monkey before. It's not my thing. But I mean, if I did, we had to kill it right there, prepared, cooked, and all that stuff. It'd be like win-win. Anyway. Some people may not agree with that. That's fine. That's fine. You might be like, poor animal, whatever, for the animals. Okay, sure. I mean, you could, fine. Think with your, how that feels, how the feels. Okay. But there's just feels, there's restrictions and ethics. It's like, especially with horror films, it's like, well, I don't know. Let me think. I don't have a problem if you disagree on that. It's just you do you, right? You do you. I would leave it at that. But Cannibal Holocaust is one of the films that was seen as a snuff film. This film that people thought it was a snuff film. There was allegations that it was a snuff film. Right out the gate. It was one of the first films to actually have the found footage. And it was a film that the filmmakers, it landed them a trial. Allegations, not just allegations, but convicted of putting out the snuff of animal abuse. For the 1980s, this was a wild fucking movie. It'd still be wild now. If they try to make this movie today, there would be a lot of problems. PETA would raise hell, which PETA shouldn't raise hell. PETA kills more animals than they save. And that is a fact. You can go look it up yourself. According to PETA, you shouldn't own your cat because it's akin to slavery. Did you know when you pet your little Snowball, you're actually enslaving Snowball? That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Anyway. But yeah, Cannibal Holocaust is crazy. When you see the scenes of it, it looks barbaric. It looks gruesome. You see this woman, it looks like she's impaled. She's not impaled. That's all makeup. But it looks good. It looks real. And that's how you get the snuff film allegations. And they were charged. The filmmakers were charged with obscenity. The authorities in Italy, they were convinced that the filmmakers had to have injured people. So they looked into it. And they ended up citing them. Animal cruelty laws. Later, those charges were dropped. They had to serve a 4-month sentence. 4-month sentence of, being banned. 4-month suspended sentence. The director, the filmmaker, had to fight in the courts for 3 years to get the film up, to get it passed. And even after that, the whole thing, it's still, you had to cut things out. He had to cut things out. Wild movie, right? And some people try to compare this movie to Green Inferno. Green Inferno is beta compared to Cannibal Holocaust. Green Inferno has nothing on Cannibal Holocaust. Nothing at all. Nothing. It wants to be Cannibal Holocaust, but it will never be. It could never be. Because Eli Roth is too afraid to go the whole mile. You see, Green Inferno comes out trying to be Cannibal Holocaust, but was Green Inferno ever banned? No, it was not. You know what was? Hostel. Hostel 2. Because Hostel 2 was pretty gruesome. And that was banned in Germany. They had to re-edit it. Even then, it still wasn't. It wasn't approved. So what does Eli Roth do? Well, when it comes to Green Inferno, and he wants it to be like Cannibal Holocaust, what does he do? He cucks. He pushed the envelope before with Hostel 2. What he does with Green Inferno is he cucks. He doesn't go all the way. Man, how could you try to compare when Cannibal Holocaust, a lot of people disregard it as just a snuff film, as just a bunch of scenes of gruesomeness, but there was more to it. It was a commentary on society, on what people should be allowed to see. You had the higher ups, the suits, looking at the found footage and being like, people would like to see this. They would pay to see this, right? You get the sort of the faces of death videos that people will pay to see, right? And the faces of death videos were real footage. Well, some of them were real. Some of them were fake. Some of them were real. And those were banned. Those are banned films, right? But people would pay money to see that stuff. People know that. Producers know that. If there's a way to have people see real atrocity and they can make bank off that, they will. Oh, but people do now. It's your daily news. Why do you think news outlets love covering war, love covering pandemics, love covering riots? Even if it's a riot, a bunch of LARPers. And I say that about, I don't even say the names. Come on, this isn't a political podcast. We know what I'm talking about. Fighting in the streets. It's fist fighting and using. Anyway. All right. What other movies banned? What's interesting here is that all right, let's relight the cigar. The Exorcist. The Exorcist. That's another one that's banned. This one was banned in London because it's banned in the UK because a nationwide Festival of Light, a Christian public action group, busybody pearl-clutching Karens, Christian Karens, got upset about The Exorcist. They sent out leaflets calling for this movie to be banned. And it worked. It led to the film being banned in a number of counties. Look, the call for banning content because it's too edgy or because it's too satanic and it's blasphemy, I find that to be really stupid. Like, why? Why would you do that? But look, people could call for a ban on stuff. It's up for the people in charge to just say no. Just say no. But they don't have a spine. You know? They last thing they want is a riot. What, they're gonna riot over The Exorcist? Let them have their stupid demonstration, let them get their energy out of them, exhaust them, and just play The Exorcist. Come on, it's a fucking movie. Right? Oh. But at the time, it was people were definitely reacting to it. And people try to say that it's real. It's the real thing. They were saying that they were sick. They got sick when they were watching it. Think of the people getting sick while watching it. Why wouldn't anybody care? I'd be like, oh, that's great. That's a good reaction. You got sick while watching it? You threw up? It was that bad? Oh, man. Then that sounds like a good horror movie then. It really shook you up, didn't it? Good. It was too much. Okay. The Evil Dead. That's another banned horror movie. The Evil Dead. Now, the thing about The Evil Dead, the first one, was Sam Raimi. He wanted to make a extremely gruesome movie, as gruesome as possible. He had no interest about the, no fear, no interest of censorship or any of that. So the first cut of The Evil Dead had an X rating. An X rating? The Evil Dead. I've seen it. You've seen it. Yeah, it's bloody, but I mean, bloody enough to be banned? Seems weird that one's on the list. Why that? You know? I know there's a scene where there's a tree that's raping the chick. And Sam Raimi looks on that scene and claims he regrets it. But it's... What, you can't have evil trees doing evil things to people? It's a fucked up scene. But it shows you how fucked up this evil thing that was released is. See, some people look at scenes like that and be like, it adds no value. It adds no value to the, it adds no value at all to the film or to the story. What, like a tree rape scene in Evil Dead adds no value? It adds perfect value. Look, because it tells you how fucked up the evil entity is, right? Like, look, think about it. If you're trying to create a horror story or horror movie, whatever, and you really want to show how evil and fucked up this evil entity or essence is that was released, what are you gonna do? Have it do all sorts of fucked up shit. Oh yeah. Evil Dead is a classic. Evil Dead is a fucking classic. Hey, Nitwit. Hey, how's it going? Let me ask you, Nitwit. Is it okay to be a simp? Let's start talking about simping at the beginning. And what lesson about simping do you get from watching horror films? Oh, is there a lesson about simping in The Evil Dead? Ash already had a girlfriend. So he wasn't a simp then. He goes to the cabin to hang out with friends. Who? Oh, but you know what? He still has feelings over his girlfriend after she's dead. Is that simping? I mean, his girl's dead. You know what? He's freaked out about the hallucinations at first, but he overpowers it. He overcomes it. If anything, the Evil Dead is about fuck being a simp. Don't be a simp. Overpower that shit. That's what Evil Dead's about. The trees didn't have to simp. They just did. Oh shit! What lesson is there in that? Huh? Fuck. You probably don't want to embrace that lesson. You'll end up in jail. I don't condone that. And it's funny, The Evil Dead is still banned. It's still banned in video in some countries. The Evil Dead. Wow. What about what's a film called? A Serbian film. A Serbian film. That's a horror movie that was banned. I was banned outright. I think the filmmakers were threatened with jail time for spreading child porn. A Serbian film. I've seen that movie. People were saying, "Oh, it's so bad. It's the worst thing ever." Like the gore scenes weren't the worst thing I've ever seen. The scene about fucking an infant, that was pretty bad. That was pretty horrific, pretty fucked up. I mean, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But is that ban worthy? Would you ban a horror movie because part of the scene is that they're what do you do with that? It's not like it's condoning it. It's a guy doing a lot of fucked up shit. Isn't he doing it to save his family or something? I forgot that film, man. No, there's a lot of rape. There's newborn rape, too. But see, people react to these films as if they're actually real people. It's not. It's just a bunch of, it's a prop. It's fake shit. So you might react to the film and be like, "Oh man, that's horrible." Like, no one should ever do anything like that. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? If anything, a film like a Serbian film kind of shows you, kind of reminds you of why these certain degenerate, horrible things are, well, seen the way they are. It's not to embrace it. It's to encourage to shame it. But, whatever. But yeah, there was a prosecutor in Spain that tried to push on child pornography charges. But the charges were dropped. No, nothing happened. Okay. Let's see. Other banned horror movies. Let's see. There's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That one was banned. Hey, what's going on, Timothy? What's going on? Those that listen to the podcast feed are probably confused. These are guys that pop in the chat. See, now, here's the curious thing about this channel. I find it curious, too. This channel's been around for a long time. It's gone through many phases. I started off doing like a web series about rednecks hunting zombies. You can still find that. I look back at it now and more thought should have probably been put into it. You know, at the time it was like seems like a good idea, and it is what it is. Whatever. This channel's gone through many phases though, right? And pretty much left it alone. Let it collect dust. So it has a lot of subs, but very little like current viewers and all that stuff. And I think most of that has to do with the fact that I let it collect dust for quite some time, not done much with it. Or it could be the fact that I talk about horror. I talk about horror movies. I talk about books of guests. I talk about their works, their books, and if I really think about what kept me engaged and interested, kept my interest for the whole weekend, internet drama with Dick Masterson and all that shit, is that's the stuff that really grabs. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, you know, whatever. Horror movies. Yeah, it's like Timothy, like you said, it's like a local bar where your friends are. Oh yeah, I was talking about Cannibal Holocaust before, because he now moved on to banned horror movies. Cannibal Holocaust, that's the one people think of when think banned horror movies. Most definitely. But I say, why ban that movie? Like, all they did was kill real live animals on set. Like, I don't have a problem with that. You know, as someone who eats, meat, why would I have a problem with that? Especially when the animals that were killed on set, they weren't wasted. Apparently, the indigenous people in the area would eat that shit. Look at that. See, now I would have a problem with it if they just kill like whatever and they just let the meat go to waste. That'd be horrible. That'd be horrible. Yeah, they had to get all the actors to testify. Now, thinking about Cannibal Holocaust, especially for the time it came out in 1980, it is very real looking. Like, the gore scenes when they're eating the flesh and intestines and stuff, it looks pretty fucking real. Over the top too. I mean, and of course you have lawmakers respond to that. You have fucking judges respond to that stuff. Prosecutors responding to that stuff, because it's like they don't, what they see they think is like the real stuff, so they want to go after it. Think of the children. Who cares? Let them watch it. If you really want them to. I mean, I'm saying if you're, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, Timothy, you're right. That's what they brought up. You know, the point of Cannibal Holocaust was that it was satirical about the way the media sensationalizes, well, everything, especially gore. You know. And then I brought up Green Inferno. How at one point I forgot to bring up is that Green Inferno, Eli Roth totally forgot that part. Green Inferno, Eli Roth tried to emulate Cannibal Holocaust, but failed because, I mean, he can't go that far. So why even try? But Eli Roth, instead of having social commentary, he has fart jokes. Literally has a chick shit herself with the soundboard shit sound. It's like, what is it, a comedy? What are you doing here? I was watching that film the other day. I was like, oh, yeah, come on, this is funny. There was a trauma movie. Oh, trauma stuff is hilarious. That shit should never be banned. That shit. Oh, see, that shit, like Nukem High. Nukem High. I think of that when I think of trauma. You have the blackface. You have all these crazy characters you probably couldn't do today. You could. A filmmaker with a spine could. All you have to do is ignore Twitter, ignore the headlines, or embrace whatever label or laugh about whatever label they give you, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, trauma films are bad movies for fucked up people. Well, that says a lot about me. But yeah, even a film like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that was banned. It was given an X rating, and that was it was another film that was. What is this? Let me take this. I might need to take this. Let me see what this is real fast. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. That was that was work. Okay. So let's talk about banned horror movies. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. People thought that was real. They banned that shit outright. They had to edit stuff out. You know, a movie that's kind of surprising to me. Slenderman. Slenderman was banned. Slenderman, the movie based off of a video game that's based off of a creepypasta. That was banned. And you could probably guess where it was banned at. You know, you might remember a certain murder, a certain. Well, it actually wasn't even a murder because the chick didn't die. It was a near fatal stabbing in Wisconsin. And Anissa Weir and a Morgan Geyser. They try to kill their supposed friend. Because the Slenderman told them to. Well, you know, because of that, they had to ban that movie They had to ban the movie from theaters in the Wisconsin area, in that area. Now to say, that's pretty silly. That's pretty Karen. That's pretty pearl clutching. You see, like I get that there was a crime that happened there in the name of Slenderman, but these two girls didn't kill or try to kill their friend because of Slenderman. They did it because they're fucked up in the head. That's why they did it. Okay, that's why they did it. I mean, that's the only rational look at it, because so many people, how many people have been exposed to Slenderman? Like, what, millions? And how many people have killed a name? Just these two girls? Wow. Okay. That's some good influence Slenderman has, right? Nah, these two girls were just nut jobs. They just delusional, and they were sick in the head. And because there's two girls that were sick in the head, they couldn't watch this crappy. I have not even seen that movie. It cannot be any good. The Slenderman movie. Like, who would go see that anyway? Let's see. Freaks. Freaks. 1932. Freaks. That movie was banned. People banned that movie because they thought it was exploiting like people with like disabilities. People banned a movie because you had these various freaks playing themselves or playing characters that are based on them, you know? How I'm trying to understand how that's a bad thing when anymore it seems like, especially in this day and age, you have people demanding that only black people play black people. Well, of course, I guess you can't do blackface anymore. That's a bad thing. Or would they say only trans people could play trans people? You know, you can't. You know, Scarlett Johansson couldn't play that trans character in whatever movie she was supposed to be in. I mean, you have actors playing gay characters, but are these actors gay? Well, I mean, they are in Hollywood. They might be a little gay. But you can't have, like, someone with some sort of disability play themselves. You can't have that. No. You can't have disabled people playing disabled people. You can't have freaks playing freaks. That is now I might be the only one who thinks that way. I don't know. I didn't think Freaks was that crazy. I mean, it's not about a gore thing. It's not about offensive speech or anything. It's just about you're exploiting them. You're making money off them. Okay. I mean, that's a lot of what Howard Stern makes fun of. Makes money off of retards. You know, shit. A lot of people are making money off of exploiting retarded people or dumb people, right? Isn't what Dr. Phil does? Making money off of retarded people. Of course they are. Let's see. I guess the last one I'll talk about. Faces of Death. Faces of Death. Yeah, this was notorious. These are banned, man. I remember hearing about this stuff when I was in middle school. Like, oh man. And you used to be able to rent them at Blockbuster. they would have like real death scenes, real beheadings and stuff. Some of it was fake. Even the fake stuff looked pretty real though. Yeah, they tackled that. That was banned. You could not sell that anymore. You had dog fights, monkeys being beaten to death. So of course, it's banned just about everywhere. UK. I think it's banned in the US too. I don't think you could buy a copy of it. Where could you buy a copy? I mean, you can't go to Amazon and just buy Faces of Death, can you? I don't think so. I'll check right now. I think for something like that, you might have to go to another place. Oh, you could watch it. Looks like I'm wrong. It's right here. Oh, title not currently available. Look at that. But yeah, that was banned in the UK, Germany. It's still banned in like New Zealand, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Anyway, I think this is going to wrap up the stream here. I think, in summation, I think it's pretty simp behavior to ban horror movies, even if they are gruesome, maybe too much than what you could tolerate. I know I kind of cringed a little when I was talking about a Serbian film. The idea of newborn rape is pretty bad, right? But it's fake, and it's not like it's putting the idea out there to just do that. People don't need these horror movies to tell them what to do. People are already doing these horrible things anyway. Something like the newborn rape in the Serbian film, that's what, like I said earlier, that's reminding you. That's just letting you, as a reminder, know how horrible that shit is. And the thing I like about horror films and horror stories is that you have to face your fear. It's going to challenge you to face what you don't want to see. To scare you, to disturb you. I'm going to end with this. Don't be a simp. Okay? Don't be a simp. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Timothy, Nitwood, it was good talking to you guys. Y'all take it easy.